Hey, what's up?
Good. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Music Craft Podcast, where we speak with musicians about their song-making process and other musician-related things like live shows, bandmates, gear, and more. And this is Victor Zohni. Am I
Correct.
saying that right?
Yes, that's correct. Zoning, yep.
And you are in a band called Halo Vair,
Correct as well.
right?
On fire right off the bat. Nailing it, man.
And yeah, I checked you out on Spotify. It looks like you have 3 singles and an album. Would you call that like an EP?
Yeah, pretty much. But it doesn't make any sense these days. But yeah, EP, sure.
Yeah. And for those who want to check you out, we'll go over this at the end too. The spelling of that Halo Vair is Halo space Vair.
Correct. Nice.
Okay, question 1.
There we go.
Do you promise with your life you'll answer every question I ask you?
With my life, no.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Funny. Lie detector test.
What does the band name mean?
It's a funny variation of the word hello there. If you imagine a French person trying to say it with a thick accent, hello there. And basically it just boils down to that. It's as silly as that. But simple and clean and easy. At the end of the day, it sounds wicked. And I love the name, and it's a good name. Sounds like it's ready for action.
It looks good in on the logo too. It's like it makes a square with the 4 letters.
Yeah.
Solid name.
I planned all that out. Yeah, it took a while, but really happy with how it's turning out. So just all I gotta do is just make music to match the name.
Yeah, so I listened to the music, and it's really solid rock, very profesh.
Don't you wish it
Has anyone compared you to a certain artist? Do you know who I'm gonna say?
Well, yeah, like literally, I'm pretty vocal about being open to, like, Tame Impala is the reason why I started the band. So if people say you sound like Tame Impala, I take that as a strong compliment because there's a pretty obvious influence with it. Literally, I heard Inner Speaker in high school, and I was like, I need to make a band that sounds like this, and so obviously, 100%,
That's awesome.
totally fine with sounding like
I
Tame
was gonna
Impala.
go with something else.
Really? Oh wow! I'm curious
Okay, and
what
I
it is.
think this is because mainly the vocals and maybe not even the voice, the vocal effects.
Okay.
Lenny Kravitz.
Really? I got a couple Lenny Kravitz here and there. I haven't listened to much of his stuff other than the hits,
Yeah.
but I really don't know much other than that. But I've gotten 1 or 2 Lenny Kravitz comparisons, which is, right on. I'll take it. It seems like a solid guy. I prefer Tim Impala over
Yeah,
Lenny Kravitz,
they're amazing, yeah.
but
Yeah, I see some similarities.
But I think when he came out, to my understanding, he did like do that psychedelic rock thing with that kind of modern sheen on it. So that's kind of what the same ballpark is. The idea is to kind of clean professional rock with psych rock influences, the neo psychedelic sounds. So Tame Impala, King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, MGMT, Flaming Lips. That's kind of the bands I really looked at when writing this kind of stuff.
Sick bands.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw you kind of had a burst of 3 singles in the last few months. And before that, there was a space of a couple years from the EP. So what incited that to...
Me busting my butt. That's what it was. Me hustling. Me grinding.
Yeah.
Me in the stew right here, cooking it up to try to make quality. It's we're in a social media short-term TikTok, I want next song right now kind of deal. But the reality is, man, you're trying to write songs. I only have 4 songs in the second EP, and the first EP was 5. I write tons of music, but not every song is a banger. I only like to release stuff that I'm really happy with. So through iteration and through multiple songs and trying and trial and error does this actually work. So it takes a lot of time for me to make stuff. Another thing I should emphasize, I do everything myself in the recording. So I'm doing the vocals, I'm playing guitar, the drums are drum machines I'm programming, all the synths and pianos I'm doing. I'm mixing the album myself. The only thing I didn't do is master it, that I hand off to someone else. But so when you do all of that process, that's what also adds more time to it. But I also am aware that I'm not happy with those gaps. I want them to be closer and tighter so I can continue to release the jams to the people, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you can continue on this streak of these latest releases. Who are the other two dudes in the pictures I've seen?
Yeah, so that's my live group pretty much. We got Voss on bass and Aaron on drums, and they've been an essential part to the band, despite it being, mostly a solo deal. It's so important to have people to play with in person. It's so important to have people to show the songs to and bounce ideas with and talk about the music with. And also whenever I write new songs or I'm in the process of writing and arranging, playing them live and just feeling them out, you can tell the energy right in person. So two amazing human beings that I love to play music with and hope to have some live shows coming soon. The most recent one will be on March 13th, our album release show, which will be live streamed from my studio right here, in which we're going to rip the tunes live and jam out with them.
Awesome. Are you going to put that up on YouTube after?
Depending on how well we do, we'll see.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, we will. So for people to check it out if they missed it.
So, a very general question now with how do you usually create a new song? Is there a common trend? Do you have different approaches?
Yeah, like you always want to try a different approach every time if you can. Generally, because I'm a guitar player and because I'm a guitar maniac, I love guitar. Obviously, a lot of the riffs and ideas stem from guitar, but it can also stem from an idea in the brain, like, oh, it'd be cool to write this type of song or this kind of idea, or I really like this rhythm. Oh man, I really like this hook or this melody. Piano, sometimes I might come up on piano an idea or melody, and then some of those ideas will formulate. So, for example, the song Meta, the second single I released, I was very much influenced by a lot of post-punk bands like Dive and Beach Fossils. So I love that type of music, and I thought, oh, I got to do a song on that level.
I've been playing since I was 14 guitar, and I'm 35 now, and just maybe the last, like my first 12 years or something, were just horrible music I was making, because I was always into making it. So for me, it took a really long time to be happy with what I'm putting out now.
That's good to hear, man. It's a journey. It's a journey for sure. And not only that, but yeah, keep in mind that, especially with a lot of music makers these days, is that you're trying to reach a standard that normally took an entire corporate machine to achieve. So if you look at past musicians and bands, they had a record label, they had engineers, producers, people running a studio, multiple people in a band working together. So it's a multifaceted process, and then trying to do that all by yourself now can be really tough. So yeah, it's a process, man. And I think as long as you stay positive and do your best and try to just always improve from the day before, you'll make it.
To continue with the topic of your bandmates or live bandmates, I have given up on being in a band because I don't want to give up control. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want people to say no. So it sounds like, yeah, I can understand your approach more because you are the main person, and these guys, there's a very set roles in what you're doing. So have you experienced that? I don't know if you've been in other bands where it was more equal.
I have absolutely. And it's great that you touch upon that, because the way I run the band is very much what you just mentioned. After being in various bands before Halo Vair, you get into when you do things kind of democratically, where everyone has a say kind of deal, and you everyone does writing, everyone does the music together, which, there's a romanticism to that. Everyone loves the idea of like the Beatles getting together and, oh, we got a song, everybody, let's do it all together. Or, you hear all these stories and you're like, oh, it's amazing. I think it's also just just changing with the times. I think with bands now with technology, it makes more sense to have the solo mastermind, so to speak, and then everyone kind of follows suit. And then what's interesting is what's common now is instead of one person, one band, it's like every member has their own projects, and everyone helps each other out, kind of deal. I feel like that's more common nowadays, which I see with bands, and people playing in multiple bands and helping each other's project out. But every single project has like a sole visionary mastermind person, and they're taking the lead. And not only that, but even when you look at bands in the past, there's always one or two that's the person who's really in charge of the music. Like they're the ones who study it. Even if it might appear
That's
like
true.
a group, there's usually one or two that truly is the leader. And to put
Or
it,
you could rank them.
you could rank them, but even like with a lot of great bands, all-time great bands, there's usually a dedicated person in charge, kind of charging the artistic vision forward. But
Like Ringo and the Beatles.
yes, Ringo, the true leader of the Beatles. But even still, like looking at the Get Back documentary, that guy was the most impressive musician out of the group, easily. If you look at I'm 100%. If you look at how tight he is and how disciplined he is, every time they record, he doesn't screw up. Perfect playing, drumming in time at all. Absolute rock solid. I was so impressed with his musicianship and how tight he was on that documentary. So my respect for him grew even further, because when you have a band like that with people kind of, they're going back and forth with ideas and stuff, when it comes to recording, rock solid drummer. Remember, there's no drum machines or any, time synchronization or quantization back then. So having a drummer like that is so essential. So small things like that, they all add up.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that specifically. Also on top of that, just how you could get along with him easily, which is huge in a band to have a few of those people.
He's very laid back, very chill. Yeah, he was basically the rock of the band, in terms of just like an anchor to hold down the fort and make sure things work along. Because imagine if he was bickering alongside everyone else too, and also was showing up late or was screwing up on drums or messing around.
Okay, I thought this was a good idea when I wrote it down. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck became a multimillionaire through the lottery?
What woodchuck chuck multimillionaire? I don't know. What? I don't get it. That's crazy. That's crazy,
never
man.
mind.
That's crazy.
It was just supposed to be confusing.
Damn, you got me. You got me
All
there,
right.
Horatio. These next level questions. Next level.
Next one will be better. So I lurked you online a little bit, and I saw. Do you work in the web dev design world?
Correct.
I do that too.
Respect. It's common amongst the musician folk to do that.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Do you say you delve more into the programming aspect or the designing, more of a designer?
In the past was programming. More recently has been design. I think there can be a toll on your mental health with a extraneous amount of programming, and which can be really tough when you code endlessly for hours and hours on end, especially full time. It can be tough on the brain to do that a lot. I like design because I get to look at pretty colors and put music on, and it's more chill, it's more laid back. Whereas programming is essentially problem solving. You're solving problems, but it's very mechanical. It's very meticulous. So it can be a little much at times. So I like to balance nowadays, but I have been leaning more towards design, which is nice. But at the end of the day, you do what to pay the bills. So
That's what I make stuff for banks, so pay the bills.
I hear you, man. Yeah, I worked for RBC in the past. Yeah, I've worked for various tech companies, but hey, if you look at what it got me, it lets me build my music. So it's great to have my work thing be work and my passion be my passion.
Yeah. And you listed some of the things associated with programming, like traits. Are you able to compare any of it with music? Like for myself, there's the structure, kind of a mathematical element to both in certain aspects. Have you ever thought about that, the comparison?
Of course, yeah. I think that one of the reasons why musicians and programming tends to go hand in hand, or they tend to be common, is I think programming is inherently math-based, music is inherently math-based. So there are, circle of fifths looking at kind of relationships of chords and harmony and all that, and intervals, and seeing also programming concepts and data structures, architecture. I could definitely see, the same kind of brain, the cogs turning when you're doing both music and programming. Obviously, music also has what makes good music is purely subjective, and what makes programming is kind of mostly objective. It's either it runs or it doesn't, and it either works or it doesn't. Whereas music is obviously a little more, what does it mean to be good?
Let's take a break now to hear from our sponsor, DNAspike.biz. Did you know that the average person only uses 60% of their DNA? Unlock your DNA potential with DNA Spike today. The DNA Spike machine unloads ultraviolet light into your third eye chakra using its patented light bulb blaster. After merely weeks, you should unlock new parts of your person. Testimonials reveal new languages learned, faster fast twitch muscles, 500 point chest point increase, stronger relationships with friends and family, and much, much more. Full refund within 2 weeks if you're not satisfied. That's DNAspike.biz. Now there's this phenomenon I wrote as cursed songs. I'll try to describe it. So I had a song that I put a lot of effort in, and it never really sounded great. There was something off with it. And I became obsessed with it, and I wanted to finish it, and it was a lot of time. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, it was basically in the first EP, there's a song called Tabula Rasa, which is about almost 10 minutes long. And it took me 1 year to write that whole song. I would sit at the piano every day trying to figure it out and try different chords, and it almost drove me insane because I just kept over and over just rewriting it. And there's 40 different versions of that song, and it was driving me wild, but I just had to finish it because I knew I wanted the big epic, I wanted the big Pink Floyd epic kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
So I went for that, and eventually I figured it out, but boy, was that not easy. So it happens. It's a struggle. Done is better than perfect. After a certain point, you just have to power through it and just get something done.
I do my solo stuff under my name, which is complicated, so I'm going to come up with a stage name. I want your first impression of the name Elastic Ass. What do you think when you hear that?
It sounds like a joke, man. Sounds like a joke.
Not good. I don't want that.
That's what if I were to hear that, it's my first impression. So if it was something like, if you're making comedy rock, that'd be great.
Oh, I hate that stuff.
Then I don't recommend that for your name for a project.
Okay. So the music life cycle, you make a song, you release it. How do you usually feel after you're done with the song? Are you worn out?
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing it, and I don't. What's funny is that when you release a song, everyone's like, "Oh, they want you to play it and stuff, and they want you to talk about it," and then it's like, I don't want to listen to this or talk about these songs anymore. And then I got to promote them, and then obviously there's other things like music videos and lyric videos and other things too. So then you got to listen to the songs some more. So I'm pretty much sick of all my songs already, but at the end of the day, it is also part of the job of being a musician, is just to kind of live with it. But it is fun every once in a while to not listen to your stuff, let the time fly by, come back to it. And coming back and even listening to the first EP, I'm like, all right, this is solid, This is solid music. It's hard to listen to your own stuff and say, this is the best thing ever, or this is great. But you know what? It's solid. I can at least give it that. So
I was gonna say the same thing, and you said it. Yeah, giving it some space, then you can appreciate it. And even I notice this when I play acoustic guitar. Sometimes if I haven't played something in a while, I'm really into it, and I'm performing like the best version of it, because you're like experiencing it again while playing it.
And that's why I'm also really grateful to have my live band, because we can just spice it up, because we can just say like, hey, I just say to the guys like, hey, I'm tired of playing it this way. Can we just spice it up? And then we come up with some ideas to just try it differently live. So
I liked your honest opinion about the name, and I want to ask your opinion on one more thing
Go ahead.
that I'm doing. So I have a background track that I put in an aux cable because I'm solo and I do just guitar and vocals.
Okay.
Is what I'm doing karaoke?
No.
I think it's lame if someone just does that on stage.
I think starting out backing tracks can be cool to add atmosphere. At the end of the day, what are you trying to do with the backing track? Like, if you're trying to play the entire song, like drums, bass, and all the other elements, and then you're playing acoustic guitar and just singing, I think you'd just be better off with the acoustic and singing, and then focusing on
I do
your
lead, so it's like it's a whole song, and those elements are very important in the song, and they're complex. Well,
I wouldn't. Well, obviously, if you created the song, it's not purely karaoke, but it's karaoke. The idea of karaoke is it's more of an event just to have fun and it's not even about doing it well. You have to ask yourself, at the end of the day, you're performing, you're creating an experience for people, and you can do that in multiple ways. So if you're the single person alone and you want to, do it solo with backing, it can work, but I would do it. I would look into ways how you can do it dynamically. I would look into ways on how you can. What is the focal point of the song? So I'm assuming if you're playing guitar and singing, that ultimately should be the focal point of the song.
Yes.
So the backing track should support that. And I would do things like having triggers, maybe incorporating loops, maybe incorporating harmonies, maybe I personally like it when I see if someone's singing or playing acoustic guitar and they're doing a lot on their guitar that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So if they're doing like the tapping beat thing on the guitar and it's like that's the majority of it, and then maybe some backing things will come in, it can be cool.
Okay, thank you for the advice.
No worries, man.
A more fun question. Do women care if you make music and if you're in a band? Does it actually matter with women?
What do you?
If you're straight looking for...
Oh, you mean like in dating?
As a thing to impress maybe a potential date.
Okay. Well, first of all, if you're making music for the intention of dating, you're already failing. I would say that you should. I didn't become a musician to date women, or I didn't pick up a guitar to pick up chicks, bro. I didn't get into it for that. I got into it because it's like there's a genuine passion for doing this. And also, if I were to impress women, it wouldn't be through playing rock music, because rock music's not in right now. It'd be like a pop singer or a hip or a rapper or something, or a DJ, because that seems to work better than me playing rock music. People aren't really, it's not as attractive.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, but I will say,
Wrong era, man.
Man, you hear about Lemmy talk about the the 60s and 70s, and it's like, people went crazy over musicians. You just had to have a guitar and you could date anyone. But I will say this, when it comes to dating or just attracting anyone, I think people always respect passion. People love it when you are passionate about something and you love it and you put your heart and soul into it. And when people see that, it makes you more attractive as a person to everybody, not just dating, but just for friends and everything too. It makes you a stronger person that in general. And you just come off more attractive, I think, to everyone.
Yeah. I see your point. Performing on stage, for myself, this is one area that I struggle with, and it doesn't come natural. I like to focus just on the music, but whenever I see someone really into it, it's very nice to see at a live show. Are you naturally comfortable with that? What are you trying to do on stage other than the music?
Yeah, well, it's important to understand that you're a performer and not just a musician when you're on stage. So there's kind of another element to that. So I always loved, to me, I just don't care. I don't know how to say it. I don't give a damn. Like, you just go on stage and you have fun. Like, just what appeals to you about playing this instrument? I love the idea of a rock band. I love the idea of people going on stage, rocking out and having fun, because that seems inspiring. That seems really cool to me, to see people just really get into the music and perform it. There are subtle things too. Obviously, you want to try to be animated. I tell the band it's good to be animated. It's good to react to the music more than you usually would. So if you're bopping your head like this, do it a bit more, over exaggerate your movements on stage, because that shows itself to the person in the back of the venue, you know what I mean? So maybe you might be up close just like, oh, okay, that guy's into it, but the guy way back, when he looks at you, you want to be over animated so that that person can see you, right? And this, obviously, the bigger the stage, the more that's even important. That's why the big arena bands, they're jumping around like they're really animated, right? So, or if you're the kind of person at the end of the day that doesn't want to do that, just have good visuals, which obviously that's more that there's a financial element in that, because it costs money, or it costs more time and effort to set up visuals. But if you have a great visual look in terms of like a projection or something, that gives something for people to look at, right?
Are you cool with going maybe for 10 more minutes or 10, 15?
Sure, man. It's all good. Keep her coming.
Thank
I can
you.
fire them off, buddy. I can take care of it. Don't you worry. We're covered here on this podcast. We're all good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still in a feud with Bono from U2?
I never was. Bono is he's actually like the fourth member of our band. He's like kind of the unofficial fourth member of the band, and he's my spirit animal. And I actually use him, and I don't mean to joke around. Unironically, I use him to warm up vocally. I find that Bono is a great singer to vocally warm up with, because his singing, any singer that's usually like over exaggerated in how they sing, is really good for vocal warm ups. Even singers like Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, or Brand Urie from Panic at the Disco, or Freddie Mercury. Any singer that's like really like animated in how they sing and over the top, they're awesome. But Bono's really great because he's just like so emotional in how he sings. But yeah, that's like kind of a joke of my band, that I'm like always, I'm Bono, just trying to do my Bono voice.
Now let's talk about genre.
Yeah. Sorry. What's up?
Genre, not describing through music or sounds, but the actual names of the genres. I find that really hard to do, and I thought about it. I realized people probably are thinking of different things using the words, and they're all thinking what that means differently. Do you have a genre you can define your band as?
Yeah, so first of all, in terms of genres, you could argue we're in a post-genre world, meaning that none of it matters, and that everyone listens to everything because of streaming, and that, because genres used to matter more in radio because there was defined categories of what music was, and that used to be a big deal. Rock charts versus pop charts, for example. Nowadays, doesn't matter. What is rock? What is pop in terms of the difference? Everything's all blended. Everything's just a giant blender of stuff. The way I see it, though, for genres, and I tell people this, and I've worked in radio, so I know about genres, it's simply a way for you to find music, a particular type of music, to find more of that style of music. That's it. So I like this sound, and I want to find something that sounds like this sound so I can keep it going. That's all it is. In marketing, some people say it's better, instead of describing the genre, to describe what the music it means to you emotionally. So instead of saying neo-psychedelic, I say walled out, wall of sound, spaced out, high-quality rock. So I'm kind of describing what I think the music should sound like to you, like what it should do to you. I think it should be something that overwhelms you with emotion. I think it should be very powerful music. I think the writing should be very high quality. The production should be very high quality. That's why I envision Halo Vair to be is a high quality production in the same way that when you put on a classic record, you're like, this is very well made, and I feel very powerful emotions from this, and it gets me really happy and energetic, but also makes me feel things. I don't know, and I'm impressed with the musicianship. So that kind of that when you describe the emotions of how you want it to affect people, that can also be very rich.
I'll try to think about it that way. Yeah, how it makes you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you thought about these things, or are you very smooth on the mic? Because your answers are very well structured, and it sounds like you've thought about it in the past. So you think about music?
I think about music every day, obviously every point in my life since I've started playing. I've played guitar at 13, 14, about the same age as you. Yeah, you starting out. So I also will say I was on radio for 2 years in the zone of Victor Zohni at York University. So it was the campus radio station.
You're
and
made for this.
Yeah, well, it prepared me for talking on the mic. It prepared me for interviews and all that, because you just force yourself to be very on the ball kind of deal. But also, I don't know, It's just maybe very passionate about it. Think about all these things. It could be that.
When you were doing radio, did you have a moment as bad as my woodchuck chuck joke?
Probably have, yeah. I probably asked my fair share of dumb questions to when I interviewed people, but I don't know. You can't win them all. Can't win them all.
And it's different personalities.
Sure.
I'm just meeting you for the first time.
Exactly. Yeah, and you got to feel it out, right? You got to feel it out.
Okay, I'm gonna try another one of those bad questions.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
I have a friend who had these old cats, and whenever he would speak about them passing, he would say they're going to college. What do you think about that?
You got to work on these, buddy. You gotta. I don't know what you're trying to do to me, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It went differently in my head. Okay. Music videos, I don't care about them that much. I think you said you've made a few.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about making them?
So at first, I disliked them a lot. I thought they were a waste of time, but my appreciation of them has changed purely because of working with filmmakers. So when you work with people that love film and love visuals, that's where my appreciation grows. So I don't really care about the video itself. I care about working with a talented filmmaker or a team.
That's a great idea.
Because when you work with a talented filmmaker and you're thinking of visual ideas and you're coming like locations and you're talking about the music and you see their visual language and how they interpret the music differently through a different medium, I think it's very fascinating. So when I work with a filmmaker, I love it when they take the lead in a way and just be like, this is my idea and my vision, and I think we should do these shots. I think that's really interesting when you get to see the process through their eyes. That's where my appreciation started to grow. So I managed to work. I have some new videos coming up. They'll be revealed in probably next couple of months or so. That I think are some really unique, different ideas and different visions that are coming from some really talented people. So through that is where my appreciation grows, is specifically those filmmakers that are very talented.
Yeah, that's a cool approach, because then you see their passion.
Exactly.
Creativity, making something beautiful. Cool. Well, those are my questions.
We did it. We did it, buddy.
Yeah, so check out Halo Vair.
Halo Vair.
Yeah, on Spotify. Do you want to plug anything else? You have an upcoming show.
Sure thing, yeah. Well, Halo Vair, once again, HaloVair. You can listen on any social media or any streaming service, so to say, and hit us up on any social media you like. And, we love to always chat and, updates constantly going on. And gigs throughout the year is going to be announced as they come, but most recently is the March 13th, which is a Wednesday evening we got going on. So if you're at home, just cozy on up on the Halo Vair YouTube channel, and watch us rock out. We'll be on at 7 o'clock, and just rock out and have fun and hang out online, and hopefully to have more things coming after that.
Great speaking with you. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Take care.
The end.
Done, buddy.
Solid answers, man.
Thanks, dude.
Very well put together.
I try. Good questions, man. Some really good, solid stuff. It's fun to talk. It's fun. It's nice when people have good questions, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.